Hello again.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we're doing another little scenario. My hope is that we can do at least one from each of these because there's an awful lot. I mean, that will keep us going, and it won't necessarily be something I do all in one go, but I may dip into it.
You've done all of you already done one of the ones for the last tab as well as the first tab.
Yes. Um.
Oh, it's true.
So let's have a look and see. Here we go. So in this one, we've basically just got to build up an army of familiars. The first person to get the most familiars wins, I think. Yeah, we need 500 familiars,
Woo.
and we're almost a fifth of the way there already.
Handy.
So,
Makes life a lot easier.
yes, yeah. So, I was watching a YouTube video.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was about. The Grail is going to be really important in this. Um, oh fuck off. And there was an ad beforehand, and I sort of paused because it caught my attention. And the reason why it caught my attention was because it was an ad for the Five Nights at Freddy's film.
Ah, yes. I saw most of that advert as well, but I
Yes,
decided to skip it and move on with my life.
and I thought, what a weird time for this film to come out. I mean, in a sense, it makes sort of a logical sense because that nostalgia's coming back. Oh, fuck it, why not?
But they're
Um,
still making games.
are they really?
Yeah. I think the last game came out well, the most recent game came out like last year, year before.
Hmm.
Five Nights at Freddy's video game series. Uh, Right, the games, the main series. Yeah, so they had Security Breach, which came out in 2021. There's one this year, which they've announced, which is
Like
scheduled for this
SCP
year.
security breach.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's.
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach came out in 2021. And there's one that's meant to be coming out. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2, which is meant to be coming out this year.
Hmm. Well, I sort of thought they'd stopped making them. That sort of thing had just fallen by the wayside. I mean, it's been in production hell since like 2015, I want to say.
What the film?
Yeah. And it's been going right since the oh, for God's sake, since I guess since the YouTube crowd got their claws into it and were making videos about it.
Ah, it's easy content,
Oh,
isn't it, really?
oh fuck off, he's here already.
I think Security Breach is one where you actually walk around, like properly walk around in a.
Hmm.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. All I know is that the game's never really interested me that much to the
No.
point of. I mean, I know that if I played it, they'd stick the shit out of me, right? As well. But I'm not like even without that side effect, I was never really that interested in playing them. I've got one. I'm not sure. I think I've got Sister Location.
Hmm.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, which I think is from like 2017. How about shifters? Oh, 2016, almost. But like, it doesn't. I'd probably picked it up as part of a bundle at some point. I would never actually intend to buy it. And it's very definitely in my incomplete series collection of games because I do not own all the others. Because all my games are organised into collections, you see.
That is probably the better way to do it.
Well, it's whether they're to review, have reviewed, or whether I don't own them all, or whether I can't review them. Like some games, I won't review an MMO, generally speaking, because
Hmm.
it's such an online experience that can be so heavily doctored by the people that you play it with that it seems unfair to review it as a game itself. Especially given the fact that they frequently update them as well. you know, one week it might be fantastic, the next week it might be shit. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, this film that's coming out.
Yes.
What's his face? It was in Hunger Games.
Yes, it has. That's the chappie. I forgot who
Was
he
it,
was.
in my head, his name's Josh Hutcherson, but that might not be right.
I think that is right.
Okay.
He's gonna fuck up his imps. Can I take out this at some point? It's not worth doing. Okay, so I guess we just hide behind our walls and hope that doesn't happen. It happened. I
What, did he
guess.
break it? Did he breach the wall?
Yeah, we got to protect the imps at all costs. That's our win scenario. Unfortunately, I can't build any other creature-generating things, so we've just got to hold the fort, really, and just hope we can build to 500 familiars. I mean, we're getting on for almost 200 at this point. The fact he's not coming makes me think he hasn't really breached the walls. Hey.
With some consolation.
So, yeah. We held off his main hero.
When is this video going out?
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Uh,
Part of why I was confused about you making 2 videos on this. instead of
yeah,
just
it
one
doesn't.
on
I mean, the scheduling stuff doesn't really matter. Nobody bloody watches them, so who cares?
Whenever I say that, you're like, "Oh, we get views." Literally every time I say, nobody
Where,
watches it.
where is the little green X on this? Can you see it?
No, I can't. Nothing stands out as green or X.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Sorry, it's monochrome, and it blended in
Yeah,
perfectly.
the looking for a green X in a monochrome thing is quite difficult.
I reckon it might be over here.
You might well be right.
Are you annoyed with me?
No, not particularly.
Okay.
No more so than usual.
Hmm. So, in weirder news this week, I've written down Globe Gimp. Now, this refers to a story about a man who went to see a production of Comedy of Errors by Bill Shakespeare, dressed in a gimp suit
As you do.
in May, and somebody complained. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's not the most conventional item of clothing, but you know, if that's what they wanted to wear, I mean, it's not like it's inherently inappropriate. It's more of a connotation that's inappropriate, is it not? It's the setting within which the clothing is worn that is inappropriate, not
Yeah.
the outfit itself. Like you see women walking around wearing latex all the time, and that's very often well, I mean, not all the time, but often enough that it's not necessarily something that people frown upon.
True
You
that.
know?
Well,
I do question how good of a view they got.
I suppose that was
Given
part of it, being in a public place and feeling all constrained and whatnot. So this is the Grail building for the Inferno. It means every week is the week of the Imp, which means we get even more Imps plus 50%, which is bog standard. So that's put us in very good stead.
by how good of a view, I mean it all depends on what kind of how full a gimp suit this was. Like whether it was like a full body situation or whether it was just a torso and legs or whether like if they had the full mask on, then they probably couldn't watch the bloody performance, right? Typically speaking, you can't see out of those sorts of things, from my understanding. I don't own one. I've never worn one. I wouldn't know. But from what I gather, typically you can't see out of them.
No. No, you can't. I mean, I guess that sort of adds to the idea that it was a sexual thing. This was somebody who went for the sake of,
Indulging a personal fetish.
yeah.
You see, that is wrong. That definitely shouldn't happen because that infringes on so many consent issues.
Yes. Yes, you're right. Yes, it does.
Consent is a very important thing.
It absolutely is.
Like beyond what a lot of people seem to think about it. You know, it actually very sort of maybe touches on the fact that I finished the Stanley Kubrick series today.
Oh, really? You ended with Eyes Wide Shut. What did you think of it?
It I think it had a lot of sex in it.
You think?
Well, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
um, and how it focuses quite heavily on the fact that Tom Cruise's character doesn't really understand it,
Hmm.
in my opinion, at least.
Understand
He seems
sex
to
or
think,
understand the sexual world he's in?
well,
I.e.,
sex as a whole. It's
the
the same thing,
swinging
really.
thing.
Well, no, because he's only in the swinging situation. I wouldn't even go so far as to call it swinging, because he's put himself there because he's misunderstood the fact that his wife at one point considered leaving because she'd had a fantasy about another man.
Hmm.
Like he goes into his whole spiral because she admits to him that she once fantasized about another man and considered leaving him. Like people fucking fantasize all the time, right? Like
Yeah.
I actually in the write up for it, I make a point of saying that according to a 2020 study, over half of Americans admit, as of, in this one study, over half of Americans admitted to having had a rape fantasy at some point.
Golly gee willikers.
Like I think it worked out as like over 60% of women and
Looking
over
at
50% of men
75 imps.
admitted to it.
That's just
Uh,
gogs, but hell.
But like these people don't actually want to be raped,
No.
and I'm not entirely sure it's possible to want it either because I think I delete our point, right?
Yes, it's a semantics issue, isn't it? It's like
You
saying
know,
you'd enjoy hell. You wouldn't.
yeah, you wouldn't, cause, you know,
By
but
definition, you wouldn't.
it's not necessarily they want to be raped. It's more that they want to lose that. They want to be relieved of that feeling of control,
Hmm.
right? And I go into like a paragraph and a half about this in the review. So look forward to that when it comes out in September, people. Like I'm not an expert on this sort of thing, but I fucking understand it. Enough from what I do know that I feel like it's very clear that Tom Cruise's character in it, the main character, doesn't have a fucking clue.
Hmm.
Like he is so ridiculously out of his depth because of the situation that he's put himself in. Like the whole story only exists because he's put himself into this ridiculous situation. But I think it's the fourth best Kubrick film. I think it was fourth. Let me see if I can find a piece of paper.
What's your top three?
Hang on.
Can I guess?
No, sorry, that was fifth.
All right, let me guess your top three.
Go on then.
I reckon Spartacus is in there.
Nope.
Clockwork
Spartacus
Orange.
eighth place was Spartacus.
All right.
Clockwork Orange was seventh.
Oh, okay. Is it
I'll give you three more guesses.
The Shining?
That was in sixth.
Golly.
I was disappointed by The Shining, and I'll tell you why when we finish this little game.
Okay. Paths of Glory.
Paths of Glory was 10th.
It's one of the early ones I haven't heard of.
Well, I mean, I've definitely mentioned the number one film, the film I've definitely mentioned to you. So I remember mentioning how surprised
Lolita.
I was. No, Lolita was 11th. I think it completely missed the point of the book, or at least
Um,
part of the tone of the book that it was trying to achieve when I made the film. I actually want to watch the Jeremy Irons version from the 1990s just to see if they achieved it any better, so I can compare the two, and then compare it with the book as well. So it's way down the watch list. I've got so much shit I need to watch for Halloween still. So no, I'll get one last guess. See if you can get any
well,
of the top three.
Doctor Strangelove.
Doctor Strangelove was number two.
Oh, it turned out you actually really liked 2001: Space Odyssey.
2001 ended up being third. I believe that I've matured to the point that I can appreciate it now
Oh,
compared to my previous.
that's good. It shows growth.
Well, I think it's important to acknowledge it. So I'll go through. In 13th place, Fear and Desire, which was his first film. And it's his first film. It's never going to be perfect, is it? But I do feel like it was the worst of the lot.
Hmm.
Barry Lyndon was 12th
Oh,
from
yeah.
1975. Lolita 11th, Paths of Glory 10th, Killer's Kiss 9th, Spartacus was 8th, 7th was A Clockwork Orange, and at number 6 we have The Shining. which I believe that The Shining is a victim of its own success.
Right, because it's people get hyped up for it, and it turns out it's just basically all right.
Yeah, that and like everything that makes it fantastic has been. It, if I'd
Parody to
seen it,
death.
if I'd seen it when it was new, I think I'd think of it as a much better film than it is. But the fact that I know it's not its fault that I wasn't born until 1994, and I shouldn't necessarily mark it down for it. But the fact that genuinely I think The Simpsons did it better
Hmm.
in the space of 5-6 minutes, like just genuinely they did it better, is a bit telling to me. Eyes Wide Shut fifth, Full Metal Jacket fourth, 2001: A Space Odyssey in third, Doctor Strangelove in second, and then, much to my surprise, The Killing from 1956 is, as far as I'm concerned, the best Stanley Kubrick movie.
Right, what's it about?
That is the one where it's basically a heist movie.
Hmm.
A guy plans a heist, it goes off fantastically, but one of the guys gets accidentally tells his missus about some of the details,
And
and
they have to
she
take
and her
care of it.
lover No, she and her lover try to muscle in on it. Most of the people get killed. The guy behind it all tries to flee with his missus, and at the last moment, the suitcase that has all the money in that he had to get checked in properly rather than take on board with him gets knocked off the luggage carrier, opens up, all the money flies everywhere, so he's lost all the money,
Right, okay. Um,
and yeah,
well, I finished this, so I won again.
I know I was telling you about the film that you asked about.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think it's the best film. I do. You can see where it's inspired a lot of other stuff over
Yes.
the years. Not parodied. Not it's not been done. It's inspired it. You can see the inspiration, and that's important. I think.
Well, good. Thanks for joining us again. I know these are very short videos. How long was this one?
About 20 minutes,
20
25 minutes.
minutes? Okay, so we'll probably crank out another one. Um, yeah, I think next week I'll do a medium length campaign, which should be the bulk of an hour or so. So yes. So yeah, see you soon.
Bye.